I have taken IELTS speaking mock tests with over 50 people with their scores ranging from band 4 all the way to band 8. And after listening to that many candidates, I started noticing something interesting. Students at different levels make the exact same mistakes. And some of these mistakes are actually much easier to fix than people think. So I want to talk about the 3 most common mistakes in IELTS speaking, especially at band 6. And the first one is probably the most frustrating. You simply cannot find ideas. This is particularly common in part 2 and part 3. You understand the question, you have enough English to answer it, but when the examiner asks it, your mind goes blank, and then you start hesitating. Well, I don't really know. And suddenly, even though your English is good, your answers become short and underdeveloped. The important thing to understand is that IELTS speaking is not an IQ test. The examiner is not testing whether you can come up with the most intelligent idea in the world. They are testing how well you can communicate your ideas in English. So what I suggest you is you can prepare your ideas before your exam. You can look up part 2 cue cards on the internet and prepare for the ones that you find difficult. That way you're not afraid of difficult topics. You just write a couple of keywords and that's it. For example, if you're practicing topics about travel, think of a memorable trip you took, places you would like to visit, a problem you had while traveling, or anything else related to it. Then when you get the exact question on your exam, you don't have to invent the story from zero. You just adapt something you already know and practice. The second problem is pronunciation, and this one is often underestimated. I've heard students with very good vocabulary, fluency, and grammar, but their speech wasn't clear. Their pronunciation made it harder to understand. Think about it this way. Someone speaks with perfect English and very good vocabulary, but many of their sounds are unclear. You might still understand them, but you would have to work twice as harder to follow what they are saying. And that's exactly what you don't want in IELTS speaking. Your goal isn't to sound British or American. Your goal is to make your pronunciation clear, consistent, and easy to understand. One of the methods I recommend for improving this is called shadowing. Basically, you take a short clip of natural English, listen to it carefully, and try to reproduce it almost exactly. Not just the words. You copy the pronunciation, the rhythm, the pauses, and the intonation. For example, don't just repeat the sentence in your own way. Try to imitate how the speaker actually says it. That helps you understand how natural English sounds and how individual words connect with each other in real speech. And you don't need to spend an hour on it. A few minutes can be enough if you're doing it properly and consistently. I've also started uploading shadowing exercises on my Telegram channel, so if you want some free exercises to practice with, you can find them there. But remember, shadowing isn't about copying someone's accent perfectly, it's about making your own speech natural and clear. The third problem is structure, and this is probably one of the biggest difference between stronger and weaker candidates. Weaker candidates just don't know how to answer properly, even though they have good English and vocabulary. And you might have the same problem. So if you want a full guide on IELTS speaking structure, you can go here. By the way, comment the biggest struggle you have in IELTS speaking. I'll find a solution for it. Subscribe for more IELTS tips. See you in the next videos.